Yo, what is up, what's going on, man? Thank you for tuning in to another Elliott Fitness live stream show. Yes, sir. We have a good show lined up for you today. It is Friday. Hopefully everybody having a good day. Hopefully the day at work has been good, is good, going good, or whatever the case may be. Hopefully you're having a good day. And if you're not having a good day, we're going to let Mr. Chow break it down to ya.
Oh, you're having a bad day? Did you die?
I got shot.
But did you die?
And as long as you didn't die and you're still alive, you're able to wake up, get out, get something, make something happen. Just keep on pushing, keep on grinding, stay focused on what you got to do. And keep on going. Don't stop. We're at an inflection point in life, so you got to make something happen. Eventually, you'll see light at the end of the tunnel, but not until you build what you got to build brick by brick. So keep pushing. Don't let no whack-ass mental illness or nothing stupid like that get in your way. You know what I mean? You just got to keep pushing through it. It's not going to be easy, but hey, work out, eat healthy, and do the best you can and keep going. So let's go. Yes, sir. We are multi-streaming on 5 different platforms. We got YouTube, Twitch, Kick, Rumble, and Facebook. Do your boy a favor. If you're on YouTube and you see the thumbs up that pops up on your screen, do your boy a genuine favor and hit that like button that you see on the screen. It's greatly appreciated to get the algorithm showing and get this message out to people that we're gonna have a good show lined up for you today. So yes, do your boy that solid, is greatly appreciated. With that being said, Cash App and Venmo right here contributes to today's show. If you want to contribute, Cash App Daniel 2888, Venmo Daniel 00. Let's go. Let's go ahead and dive into the show that we got today. Today's show, we're going to talk about the good old, not good old. We're going to talk about the LIndsay Clancy, their name, LIndsay Clancy case. We're going to go ahead and give a talk about that. If you don't know who that is, that's the lady who has basically killed her 3 kids and then jumped out the window and tried to kill herself. But unfortunately, of course, she wasn't successful at killing herself, but she was successful at killing her kids, unfortunately. Yeah. Sad story still. And the thing is, she's already, according to the court, they already said that she has admitted to killing her kids and she has admitted to doing everything that she's done. The issue is that her attorney is pleading mental illness or temporary insanity because she was doped up on a bunch of healthcare meds. I think she was on like 12 or 13 prescription meds. Allegedly, she was for postpartum depression and some for psychotics and stuff like that. So she had a bunch of drugs allegedly that she was on, and they're saying that she wasn't in her full right of mind when she did this. So therefore, they're trying to fight the case for her. Doing what a lawyer should do, and trying to fight it and give her temporary insanity or plead the insanity for what she did, and saying that the healthcare system had failed her. So therefore, because they, kept giving her more pills and giving her more meds and more pills and more meds, and she was, taking and saying it wouldn't work, and she went out and said that she had some, situation going on, and she went to a bunch of different providers or healthcare professionals, and they just kept doping her up. So she kept taking, and sometimes she ain't feel good, she wouldn't take it, whatever the case may be. But with all of it said and done, she ended up killing her 3 kids. There was 8 months, 3 years old, and 5 years old, if I'm not mistaken. And it's a very sad situation. But the crazy part is that you have support from women who are saying that they understand why she did it, and they feel the same way about their kids as well. And these women are running around. Sorry, got to fix this on my screen. And these women are running around saying, same Lindsay, meaning that they feel the same way that she does. And sometimes they feel like that they should kill their kids too, which is pretty crazy. That's the crazy part. And at the end of the day, when you look at all this and you look at the big picture of all this, I look at this as like, midterms is this year, right? Like November or something, right? At the end of the day, when you look at everything, you add everything up, man. At the end of the day, what you really got to see is it's a messed up case. And if she gets off and are able to hit her with like insanity for killing her kids because of the way she was thinking, because of the meds and stuff, well, so many women and so many people go to therapists to get medication for drugs. They're like legal drug dealers now. So people can go to their like a lot of women go to therapists and get drugs. It's so easy to do now. So they go there to get drugs. If they don't like this therapist, they go to this one to get the drugs or whatever. And they be, having little mommy wine times and sipping a little alcohol here and there and intensifying their pills. So a lot of these women are walking around high. But what happens is if this situation goes in her favor or whatever, in her favor, and she wins and she gets off for temporary insanity or something like that. Well, then the crazy part about that is basically going to say, because of what she's thinking and the state of mind she was in, you could be postpartum and be on meds, kill your kids, and plead insanity in the future and potentially get off. So that's the situation that's kind of unraveling right now. And it's sad, but that's kind of the state of the world that we live in. So that's where we're headed, and that's what we're trying to see, how this situation pans out. Hopefully it doesn't get to that point. I mean, you got to hold people accountable for what they do. I mean, at some point you got to make the decision. I mean, you didn't have to, take the meds. And if you feel postpartum depression, then, give your kids over to somebody else in the meantime, the dad, the mom, somebody could take the kids, the uncle or auntie, and somebody could hold on to them. But, that wasn't the case in this situation. But anyway, let's go ahead and dive into this story not real quick. We're going to take a little time on this one. Let me see what we have here. So here is this right here. And this was, let me see, when did I have this up here? We're going to go ahead and just dive into this. It's going to be a very interesting one to sit down and do a look. Let's see. What is this? Okay, so this is today, as of today. Interesting. Okay. So we have, as of today, deliberation that's been going on. And it shows, let me see if I can pull this up right here. All right, so it shows, this is the lady right here. If you don't know, this is her, LIndsay Clancy. I guess we can just do some images. So if you don't know what she looked like, this is what she looked like. You know what I mean? She got the eyes, Chico. She got the eyes. So this is her. And today they're deliberating, if that's the word I'm trying to use. They're saying that the jury is deliberating. And matter of fact, let's just show the whole family. You know what I mean? Let's just go ahead and just show you exactly what's going on. So here's her and the 3 children. 8 months, I would assume 3 and 5. That's just my assumption. This is her right here. And they're saying that the closing arguments are expected tomorrow. I don't know when this was 2 days ago. So I guess this will be today. And then, there's a husband right there. And there's people are saying that the husband is being blamed for some of this because of the fact that the way the story goes, it's weird. I mean, we're going to find people that's going to like put this story together. It's crazy, but we're going to see if people are saying that he might have had something to do with it because there's like video footages of him being at a store, and at the store he's at, his shoes change. And then when he comes back, she had already killed the kids and tried to jump out the window. And he went inside, yelled her name, and found her in there and called 911 or whatever. I'm just giving an idea of what I think people have been saying. And when he goes in there to find her, he calls 911 or whatever to get help or whatever the case may be. But people are saying that he might have been the one that killed the kids and tried to throw her out the window and try to plant it on her and make it seem like that she did it, which is crazy. But, here we are. So let me see if I can go back to that. Let me see. Let's go back right here. So it says right here, this is live. So jurors asked to see Lindsay's prescription pill bottles and knife used in her suicide attempts. Follow update. And the sad part about it is, man, like nobody's caring about these kids. That to me, that's the main thing. That's the main thing of all this right here. Nobody cares about the kids. Nobody's worried about these children. Not like one soul is worried about these children. Not one. Like you don't hear anything about the kids. All you hear is about the woman and, how other women feel the same way about killing their kids. And it's sad, man. It's really sad. It's a sad situation. And then and to me, it's like at the end of the day, this is going to bring forth a big divide amongst people. It's going to bring a big divide, which we already have a bad enough divide as is. Like, you know what I mean? Yeah, you got color, people divided by color, people divided by culture, people divided by country, people divided by political affiliation, people divided by gender, people divided by jobs, people divided by schooling and education, people divided by, like, there's just so much division going on. I could just keep going and going and going and going. And it's just, you just added another one. You know what I mean? Of course, we're right up to midterms. So, people are going to, this is just another way to whoever is running for midterms can use this as kind of like, I guess, a talking point for people who supported this situation. And a lot of people have said that they support the fact that she was not in her right state of mind for doing this. There's a lot of people that support her for what happened and saying that it's not her fault. It's the hospital's fault. Because she went to multiple hospitals. It wasn't just one. She went to multiple hospitals for this situation to try to get different medications and stuff like that. And, you know, let's just find out what all pills she was on. LIndsay Clancy. Let's see, what pills did she? Let's see, her medication list. Let's see. Let's see if we can find it. All right, so here we go. All right, well, let's just read this. This will be something to read. All right, so let's go ahead and just read this right quick. Let's see, where is this at right here? So let's go ahead and take a read. So it says right here, LIndsay Clancy trial turned focuses to medication prescribed before she killed her children. It says the story includes discussion of suicide if you were someone, or excuse me, discussions of self-deletion, I guess you have to say. If you are someone who needs help, call the self-deletion and crisis hotline in the U.S. available by calling or texting 988. All right, so it says LIndsay Clancy messaged one of her caregivers less than 2 months before she killed her 3 kids to say she was having intrusive thoughts I never had before, feeling completely hopeless and worried about becoming addicted to some medications. And I always wonder, did she take the COVID shot? But that's a story for another day. And it says Rebecca Gelada, a psychiatric nurse practitioner at South Shore Health Paternal Behavior Health Program, testified that at the trial on Tuesday, she exchanged messages with Clancy regularly on a patient portal through late November and December 2022, and much of her conversation revolved around Clancy reporting trouble sleeping, depressive symptoms she was having, and her search for the right mix of medications to treat her symptoms. All right, then it says several times Clancy indicated to Gelada either she had not taken the full dose of a prescribed medication or that she wanted to reduce the dosage or change her prescription based on what she felt were intolerable side effects. Clancy also was worried about being addicted to some medications like Ativan, but Gelada said she was not. So she struggled to find the right medications. She said, I really don't like the way they make me feel on the Remeron, if that's the right word, and I know that I can't stick with taking it. Clancy said in a December message asking to switch from antidepressants, which is also used to treat anxiety and insomnia, to previous prescription mix. Started having intrusive thoughts I never had before, and Gelada tried to assure Clancy that having intrusive thoughts is common with someone diagnosed with postpartum depression and anxiety, and encouraged her to give the Remeron more time to work since she had only been on it for a few days. So as you can see, that'll be something that they're going to use. And this is just one healthcare provider. This is just one. There's multiple different, providers that she had ended up going to. You know what I mean? And this is just one. And you just, we could keep going and going and going, but I'll probably stop here for the moment. I'm trying to find her list. What exactly was her list of meds? Let me see if I can find her list of meds real quick. Let me see if I can find it. What exactly was she on? Let's see. So LIndsay Clancy and 13 medications. Okay, what were the 13 medications? Oh, what were they? They don't tell you what they were. Okay. Let's see. In a lawsuit filed, 3 daughters who died from, let's see. Nope, they don't say it. That's Facebook, but that could be anybody saying anything. She was on? All right, let's see. Okay, so here it is. This might be it. So LIndsay Clancy was was prescribed and found to have mix of multiple psychiatric medications in her system during a 2023 trial testimony. Medications found in her system. The toxicology testimony during the trial showed that LIndsay Clancy had several psychiatric drugs in her blood after the incident. Seroquel, which is a antipsychotic medication. Expert testimony noted that there were higher than usual or slightly elevated, but not lethal. So she was on Seroquel, Lamictal, which is an anticoagulant and mood stabilizer found at therapeutic levels. Remeron, which is an antidepressant found at therapeutic levels. Trazodone, an antidepressant found at therapeutic low levels. And Ativan and Valium, which are benzodiazepine, I can't say that word, anti-anxiety and sedative medication found in her prescription. Says the court records and trial testimony shows she was prescribed roughly 32 prescriptions across multiple providers in the 4 month leading up to January 2023 is when it happened. She was also on Zoloft, which is the antidepressant she started in September 2022 for postpartum anxiety and depression. And the other medications prescribed over the course of her treatment included buspirine, if I said that right, hydroxyzine, Ambien, Jesus. Though evidence and testimony suggested she frequently switched drugs or only took a fraction of the pills prescribed due to side effects or changing medical advice. So she was on a plethora of drugs, man. She was loaded to the gills. And this isn't to even count, to count like if she had like some mommy wine time. You know what I mean? Because white women love to drink wine. You know what I mean? They all about that wine time. So we don't know if she was sipping wine occasionally. I mean, I'm surprised nobody asked that question. Maybe they did. I ain't watched the case yet. Whoops, and turn this down. But I'm surprised nobody asked the question. Like, did you sip wine? Did you have a sip of any kind of alcohol? Because everybody knows alcohol is going to intensify the effect of your pills for sure. Like no ifs, ands, or buts about it. Your pills are going to be intensified, like tremendously, exponentially. Where the hell is my thing? Can't find it. Oh gosh, here we go. All right. So yeah, it's gonna intensify your pills for sure. So I don't know if she was drinking wine or took a shot or something here and there or whatever the case may be. Now her job. Oh, and real quick, before we get there, her defense attorney argued she experienced a severe psychotic break driven by uncoordinated polypharmacy, taking medications at once, and postpartum psychosis, while prosecutors contended she was fully conscious and responsible for her actions. So, okay, her defense attorney is saying that she had uncoordinated polypharmacy and postpartum psychosis. That's what he's trying to say. Polypharmacy, taking many medications at once, and postpartum psychosis. Oh, that's crazy. And probably then the people going against that is saying she knew what she was doing. Like that ain't a way out. Now she is was a in this case. Oh, when she jumped out the window, she tried to, I think she tried to cut her throat or whatever when she tried to attempt deleting herself, and she jumped out the window. I think she's paralyzed now from the waist down because she rode in on like a wheelchair when she comes into the courtroom. But her job was she was a delivery and labor. She worked in the delivery and labor room, so she gave birth to children. Women giving birth. She was in the delivery and labor room, so that was a job. That's what she did, which was crazy because it's like, golly, you're like right in the thick of it. Ain't nobody can help you. Like, Jesus. But it's really divided because people are, so many people are, divided on this answer. And they're like, well, the healthcare system failed her. It's not her fault she took these pills. But at the end of the day, it's like, look, maybe she was prescribed and maybe the health place did prescribe her too much. And at some point, somebody should have called CPS or somebody should have said something or stopped prescribing so many pills to a postpartum depressed woman. I get that. But at the end of the day, man, like you can't kill kids. Like that's a no-no. You should know at some point, like, hey, I feel like something is up. Like I'm tripping. I need to get away from my kids or give the kids to somebody. Like something's not right. You should have that mindset to understand I need to get away from my kids. If thoughts like that are playing in your head, that is a no-no. So I'm all for no, you can't get out of that. Because then if she does win and she gets off for postpartum psychosis, let's say she gets off on postpartum psychosis. They've already, you know what? Let me just type this in and show you. Let's just type this in and just have this conversation. List of states that allow abortions at birth. In case you didn't know. All right. Let's see. Here we go. Where is it at? Right here? Yeah. So we have several United States at the District and the District of Columbia do not have state-imposed gestational age limits, right? meaning abortions remain legal throughout pregnancy. While these jurisdictions do not set specific gestational week ban in law, very few abortions occur late in pregnancy, and procedures later in turn particularly happen due to severe medical complications or fetal abnormalities. According to the tracking data from organizations like the Kaiser Foundation, Alaska, where abortion is legal at all stages of pregnancy. California protects personal reproductive autonomy through its state's constitution. Colorado has no state-imposed gestation limits. Where Connecticut, where abortion is protected up to and past viability under medical guidelines. District of Columbia, D.C., has no specific gestational limit encoded in local policy. Hawaii, which permits procedures under clinician-guided. Illinois protects the right to choose throughout pregnancy via state statute. Maine will allow access up to birth under specific provisions. Maryland, which does not enforce a gestation cutoff. Massachusetts permits care throughout pregnancy. Michigan, voters enshrine reproductive freedom in the state constitution. Minnesota has no restricted gestational caps. I mean, I can go on and read all this, but I'm not going to. But as you can see, a lot of states are already pushing towards and moving towards allowing women to abort children up to the date of birth. Up to the date of birth. Up to the date of birth. So I'm thinking, like, if this goes on and this goes off and she gets off for postpartum depression and she's able to say postpartum psychosis, and then they come down with the verdict, and the verdict is not guilty, and then like she gets off. Again, her children are 8 months, 3 years old, and 5. How long do they say postpartum depression last? That's the question. How long does postpartum depression last? Let's find out. How long does postpartum psychosis last? Let's see. Postpartum psychosis is a temporary condition, but the most severity symptoms typically last between 2 and 12 weeks. She had an 8-month-old. Between 2 and 12 weeks, but she had an 8-month-old. Acute phase, most intense symptoms such as hallucinations, delusion, and severe confusion generally last from a week up to 3 months. Full recovery, complete recovery usually takes 6 to 12 months or longer for some individuals. After effect, an episode is often followed by a period of anxiety, depression, and low confidence as a person processes the experience. So here's the question. Does it last between 2 and 12 weeks? Because it seems like right here, if it takes you 6 to 12 weeks to recover, it's still lasting. Potentially. And then if you can still have after effects, like you can still have an episode every once in a while, then that would still fall under this category of, you know, postpartum psychosis. So who's to say how long it is? Who's to say how long it is? So what I'm saying is, like, at some point, like, people are going to be able to use this to kill kids, to kill their own kids, which is sad. Which is really sad. Because a lot of people are already, like, understanding and saying, same. I understand why you did it. Same. Yes, same. But it's like, I mean, it's kids, bro. It's kids. But don't seem like people care too much about the kids. But let's go ahead and dive in and look at some of this stuff. So we have we're gonna watch a clip right here real quick. Or we got a lot of clips to watch. So we have a attorney, Alex Thompson, says that the mothers who take to TikTok to defend LIndsay Clancy could face real life consequences for their stance. And he joins another news person or another podcaster and sharing his 2 cents. So let's go ahead and see what he has to say about this. Let me pull this up on screen and let's hear what he has to say. So here we go. Let's see what he has to say about this.
Take to TikTok to defend LIndsay Clancy.
Hold on. Let's refresh this because I probably had this up too long. Let me refresh this real quick and then we'll get this going.
You're saying that mothers...
All right, here we go. So mothers that take to TikTok could face some serious consequences for defending LIndsay Clancy. Let's go ahead and get this going. So here we go. Let's see.
who take to TikTok to defend Lindsay Clancy could face real-world consequences for that kind of response, especially in custody hearings. What do you mean by that?
Yeah, exactly. I've been doing this for 20 years, and this is the first time I've seen people who affiliate and recognize and say, this person has a psychosis, and I there should be treated special because I had the same psychosis. So I've had clients, and I have clients currently, where we are taking their messages from TikTok where they've said, hey, I have this particular delusion. It is a delusion. It is a psychosis. It is a homicidal or suicidal ideation. And we are filed motions to restrict their rights, to have the children removed, to have a forensic evaluation, a mental health evaluation. This is about children, not about parent rights. And so when it's framed the way that it's been framed by these supporters, it's framed in a way of, let's focus on me and my rights. Well, if you look at Lindsay Clancy, she had a husband who made 400 grand. She had a mother, a father. She had multiple doctors. She had more help than anyone that I have had. I represent a lot of women. I've never had anyone with that much help. And so when I look at like, what's the defect here? Well, the defect has to do with how people are identifying with a child killer.
You're saying that mothers who take to TikTok.
Well put, lad. Well put. Well put. So he's saying that he's even dealing with it in court right now and potentially filing motions and stuff like that to see that how people are identifying with a child killer and how they're feeling they're relating to their understanding onto how she caused these actions. But as it seems, it could have consequential reactions or effects, I should say, in the family court for people who do actually have some kind of relationships or relate to how she is feeling or what she did. So that's a good thing that he says that there's actually going to be a consequence or something like that for people who do identify, who feel this way towards the kids, because something has to happen. You can't just have a lot of people on social media saying, they wish they could unalive their kid too because they feel the same way she did. And it's good that there's an actual consequence that can come with it, because then you can play for the men who are in court. They can actually play the clips because women are on social media saying same Lindsay and they're posting all this content. And you can go on the social media and download the clip and take that and use that in court and be like, hey, give me a kid. Ain't got time for this nonsense. So there is good that there's a consequence for people who are identifying with a child killer, because that's the real thing. It's not that you're identifying with postpartum depression that she had. You're identifying with a child killer. That's what you're identifying with. And you're trying to justify it with emotions, which is like some trickery, evil stuff that is just like, golly, bro. The devil be working, bro. The devil be working, bro. He conniving. Clever, evil bastard. Just like, you know what? I know how to get around this. And that's what's going on, trying to get around it. But I'm glad he said that, though. I'm glad he said that there's a consequence to this. But let's hear him say it one more time. I'll run it back one more time.
TikTok to defend Lindsay Clancy could face real-world consequences for that kind of response, especially in custody hearings. What do you mean by that?
Yeah, exactly. I've been doing this for 20 years, and this is the first time I've seen people who affiliate and recognize and say, this person has a psychosis, and I there should be treated special because I had the same psychosis. So I've had clients, and I have clients currently, where we are taking their messages from TikTok where they've said, hey, I have this particular delusion. It is a delusion. It is a psychosis. It is a homicidal or suicidal ideation. And we are filed motions to restrict their rights, to have the children removed, to have a forensic evaluation, a mental health evaluation. This is about children, not about parent rights. And so when it's framed the way that it's been framed by these supporters, it's framed in a way of, let's focus on me and my rights. Well, if you look at Lindsay Clancy, she had a husband who made 400 grand. She had a mother, a father. She had multiple doctors. She had more help than anyone that I have had. I represent a lot of women. I've never had anyone with that much help. And so when I look at like, what's the defect here? Well, the defect has to do with how people are identifying with a child killer.
You're saying that mothers who take to TikTok to defend Lindsay
Making 400 grand a year. Your kids were good. Your family was taken care of. You know what I mean? Like lived in a night. Was he making 400 grand a year or 400? Whatever he was living, like $1 million home, 400 grand a year, a $600,000 home, whatever the case was, they were good. They were well off. by middle class standards, they were well off. So she had all the help that she needed. And I mean, yeah, you got that much money. You could use help in two ways. You can use help to help you, or you can use help to, not help you, in sort of the case. And, it's up to you and how you choose to use that help. And clearly it didn't work out in a good way, unfortunately. But it's just crazy that he's already filing motions. He's already in court, in family court. He's already dealing with the situation. He's already taking people in and giving them mental health and psychic evaluations in the family court already for women who are trying to identify with this and use it to their benefit. But it's like, no. It's like, no, you don't have to come to the court and try to use this to your benefit. No, because this is not about, because family court is best interest of the kid. You cannot sit here and say, hey, my feelings are being hurt. It's like, cool, if your feelings are being hurt, then you need a mental psychic evaluation, because the outcome of what happened to those kids was the kids got killed. And when you go to family court, it's best interest of the kids. So clearly, whatever you're feeling, outcome leads to that. The best interest of the kid needs to get the hell away from you. So it's good that he's already dealing with that. And, he's already jumping on it and making sure that none of the stuff goes left more than it already needs to. But it says here that LIndsay Clancy trial consumes tight-knit Massachusetts town. Where is it? Where is it? It says LIndsay Clancy is scared as jury in her murder trial continues deliberation. So I guess they're coming to an end by now? Are they wrapping this up? Because, I mean, everybody, I think her own mother was up there to testify and all that stuff. They say she's nervous, she's scared, she's sad, same as she has been. I mean, there's anxiousness in the air. Deliberation resumes Friday at 9:15, so that's today. I don't know where they're at. I think they're on the East Coast, if I'm not mistaken. The jury had its first question around 10 a.m. and 4 hours into deliberation. The judge called a recess after questioning was brought to his attention just after he called the opposing attorney into sidebar. Oh, here it is right here. Let's just go ahead and pull this bad boy up and watch this. Why not? Can we do that? Or did I just screw it up? I think I just screwed it up. All right. Let's see some of this. Let's go ahead and turn some of this sound on. Let's see what's going on here. Let's just take a look at this. Here we go. Let's see what this is.
A daughter, a wife, and a darn good mother.
At stake, whether Clancy, who admits to killing her 3 young children in 2023 before attempting to take her own life, should be found guilty of first or second-degree murder, manslaughter, or not be held criminally responsible, as the defense has argued.
This young lady is not guilty of the killing of her children because she was suffering from a disease and defect.
The defense says the former labor and delivery nurse was experiencing postpartum psychosis.
That's crazy. I don't want to keep playing this because they might, YouTube might hit me with a thing, so I don't want to play too much of it. But that's crazy. As you can see right there, that's what's going on. That's clearly what's happening right now. They're going over it right now, and they can say that she could not be held accountable or possibly be held accountable. And accountability is not based off the kids being killed. The accountability is based off of her feelings and her choice of taking said medications. Like I said, if she get off on this, it's gonna be bad, bro. It's gonna be bad. It's gonna be bad. It's gonna be horrible. It's gonna be horrible, bro. It's gonna be horrible. Like as somebody said right here. No, well, that's nothing to show. As a matter of fact, let's take a look at some of the women who showed their sea of support for the situation. Let me go ahead and refresh this real quick. And we'll look at some of the women that showed some support as she came to the White House. And just to give you an idea of like what this looks like, because you're seeing the case, but look at the support that was had, which is what I'm going to show you. So let's take a look at the sea of support that she had when she came into the White House. Or not White House, the courthouse. Here we go.
We're here to send one message, and that message is that it should not take tragedy for people to start paying attention to mental health.
Everyone should be beside each other, not behind each other.
I mean, if one thing you want to pay attention to your mental health, another thing you need to do is pay attention to your weight and your eating habits, because nobody out here is like, it looks like from what I'm seeing, 90% of the people that I'm looking at that has showed up is obese or overweight in some shape, form, or fashion. Just look. Like everybody talking about mental health, but that's an agenda. And that's the sad part. This turned in from kids getting killed to a damn agenda that's trying to be used to push mental health. But I mean, everybody knows if you want to take care of mental health, take your ass outside, go walking and go jogging in the sun, eat a healthy, balanced diet, get rid of all the sugars and processed foods, and go to the gym and work out. Start there. You'll feel a lot better because you're detoxifying your body from bullshit. But nobody wants to start there. People want to eat what they want to eat, do what they want to do, remain lazy, remain, sedentary, and just be like, there should be some magic pills that can make us feel better. And it's like, that's not how nature works. You don't just do nothing and reap the rewards. And the reward that you're going to reap is going to come from a drug, a man-made pill. The very man that you hate for the feminists out there. And I'm pretty sure a lot of women are feminists. But as you can see, they're sitting here supporting all this. But let's keep going. It's August 20th, so about a week ago.
Being here is important because the Massachusetts healthcare system, failed Lindsay. She reached out for help multiple times. She told them that she was having thoughts of harming her children and harming herself, and she was turned away countless times at countless locations.
She wasn't turned away. She wasn't turned away. That's how she got on them pills, because she wasn't turned away. No. And everybody's talking about Lindsay. It's like, bro, what about the kids? Kids were murdered. They were strangled. They were strangled. I think they said the weapon was a resistant band workout thing. I think I have it. I might come across it as we go through this. But yeah. But as you get, sickening that they're not even paying attention to the kids. They're just like, hey, like, they turned her away. They didn't turn her away. They tried to help her. I mean, unfortunately, they gave her pills. Somebody should have just told her, like, hey, give your kids away, have some time to yourself, go to the gym, work out, exercise, drink water. You gotta change. You gotta redirect that energy. Like, you gotta do something physical, in my opinion. That's what I think. You gotta do something physical. Like, go take a damn boxing class. Go take a Muay Thai class, a combat class. Go to the gym. Like, just to have a minute, get rid of. I mean, y'all were making good money. The husband was making good money. She was a delivery and labor lady. So y'all were making good money. You had money to send your kids somewhere so you can have a moment to yourself, 2-3 hours to yourself, so you can go exercise something for 2 or 3 hours and then come get them again and get yourself right. There's no excuse for that. There's no excuse for that. I mean, the hospital isn't there to cure you. It's to treat you. Because if they cured you, you wouldn't come back. It's a business. It's for money. So it's sad how they turned this into freaking rights. Oh, this is more about women's rights and mental health. It's like, bro, fuck your mental health. Look at them. Look at these people, bro. Not one of them is in shape. They're either old or out of shape. I mean, then the woman at the very end, where is she?
Way countless.
Look, bro. Look, bro. Look at the chin. Look at this. You don't need no drugs. You need to change your diet. You need to drink water and go to the gym. It's ain't got nothing to do with your mental health. This is ridiculous. But I digress. And don't go to the gym and fall for them people that got you taking steroids either. Don't be in there taking steroids. It's crazy when you look at it. Like, when you sit down and look at this whole thing, you kind of think like, man, this is actually pretty crazy. It actually is pretty crazy when you look at the fact, because it's not about the kids. It's about women's rights. I don't know in what case. And it's about an agenda But when you look at the big picture, it's only if this is if they're trying to make this out to be about women's rights, this is going to be a setback for women in general. If you're trying to use Lindsay Clancy's trial for benefit for women's rights, this is going to push women back for whatever rights that y'all need. Because you're saying, I can't care for my children. I have postpartum depression. I may think about killing my kids. And the fact that I can kill my kids under postpartum psychosis and under medically induced pills from hospitals or doctors, then, you know, it's clearly given a state that you have no control over your emotions. You can't control yourself. You don't know how to, you need somebody to take control of your life because clearly you can't do it. You know what I mean? Like all this is turning into is someone needs to help me control me because I can't do it. Someone needs to help me control me because I can't handle my emotions. These voices are in my head talking, and it's like, okay, you gonna keep playing that way, and it's gonna happen. Like, you keep playing victim, and somebody gonna put the victim in their place. You gonna keep playing these games of rights, and I wasn't under control, and then you failed me. It's like, okay, okay, keep playing those games. You're gonna find out real quick how the powers that be or the government will handle your issues for you, and it's never gonna be the way you want it to be handled. When they do come down and help you with whatever right that you need, it's not going to be with what you wanted. It never is. So it's going to be a major setback. It's going to be a major setback. And it's going to be terrible because you sound like you have no control over yourself. Like, it's just like a child. You know, there's no, it's like you were given these pills to take, took them, you felt the way, you couldn't take them, you did take them, whatever the case may be. Went back to a doctor and they kept changing. At some point, you couldn't take it upon yourself to be like, I got to figure out to do something for the sake of me and my kids before I lose my damn mind. At some point, you should have buckled down and been like, I can't keep doing this. These pills are driving me crazy. I'm over here taking 13 pills. This is not healthy. This ain't good. I have to do something before I lose my mind. And you have to come to that conclusion, to the decision. You know what I mean? Like, at some point, you got to be like, all right, what am I eating? What am I drinking? I need time for my kids. I need to have at least 2 or 3 hours a day or 4 hours a day away from them. So go send them somewhere. Send the 3 and the 5-year-old to some kind of, I don't know, and the 8-month-year-old somewhere with grandma or something, so you can get right. And just slowly but surely get yourself right. But if you're constantly wanting the government to step in, the system, I should say, to step in and prescribe you and help you and sedate you, they gonna do it. But you ain't gonna like it. It's gonna happen, but you gonna be pissed. You ain't gonna be mad. You're gonna be sad as hell. This is not what we wanted. It's like, well, you asked. Now the answer, the question you wanted help was you wanted help so you would no longer have postpartum psychosis. And when they give you your answer, they're going to look you dead in your face and say, are you still having postpartum psychosis? You're going to say, no, but I don't like this. Doesn't matter. I solved your problem. That's how that's going to work. So keep playing. All right, we got another one here. Let's see. This lady, this Thortha Power is here.
Patrick did it, for sure.
Got us a Thortha over here, ladies and gentlemen. Yes, sir. We got us a Thortha, ladies and gentlemen. Shout out to the Thorthas, by the way. Shout out to you. Where is my sound for my Thorthas out there? Shout out to this one. Yes, sir. Nope, that's not it. There we go. Here we go. For the Thortha coming up. Shout out to this one. She got the belly out and everything, boy. Oh, yeah. She got the belly out and everything. Let's get it, y'all. Oh, yes. Yeah. Yes, sir. We got the belly out. We got the legs out. We got our feet out with the Leonidas sandals on with the heels. We ain't got no cleavage, but hey, it's okay. It's okay. It might be some powerful nana between that thing right there. You never know. You never know. I'm just saying, but sometimes them Thor thighs, boy, they be having that A1 Supremo. You just can't let nobody see you with them. But let's see what she got to say. Let's hear her take on this. So here we go.
Patrick did
100%.
Oh.
That man did that shit.
So can you tell me why? I thought he was out of the house.
Yeah, but his time frame doesn't make sense. His shoes didn't match when he went into whatever, triple V's or whatever. His shoes didn't match. When he came back to the house, it was, he went outside to go check on Lindsay, but then went inside to check on the kids, but then they found him on the couch. I'm confused. Timeline doesn't match up.
You're pro LIndsay Clancy.
I'm pro LIndsay Clancy,
Wow.
always. The timeline doesn't match up. So tell me more about why his shoes didn't match up when he went from CVS to whatever V's.
Yeah, so you're not like she did it or didn't do it. It's that Patrick did it.
It's that Patrick did it.
We're seeing what the jury says, right? You know, that's our justice.
But juries can be wrong. Juries can be wrong. Juries can be wrong.
Social media can also put a wrong narrative out there just because.
All right, we got this guy who just walked in there. Let me go ahead and just say something. All right, there he is. All right.
Because of popularity of the case.
All right, so yeah, okay. So as we see right here, man, Thor the Power here, she's saying that, you know, it's the man's fault. The man did it. It's him. He did it. He left the house, shoes didn't match, timing didn't match, whatever the case may be. So it's the man's fault. Lindsay, she's saying that Lindsay didn't unalive herself or jump out the window and try to, you know, commit self-deletion or take herself out or whatever the case may be. She's saying the man did it, which, I mean, when you hear the story, you watch the video footage, it is kind of like suspect. Because if you hear the story, at least from what I've heard, I don't know the true story. I haven't sat and watched the case, but from the story I've heard, kind of like what she said, is like she sent him out to go get something. But then when you see the video footages of him at the store, at two different stores, he has on two different pairs of shoes. I don't know if he left, found something, came back, left again, and just had different shoes on, whatever the case may be, whatever. But he did have on two different pairs of shoes. And then also, when he came back, she had already tried to jump out the window. She already cut herself and everything. So he called the ambulance. So when you hear it, you kind of like, but at the end of the day, she already came out and said that she did it. She already came out and said that she did it. She caused it. She, you know, killed the kids. She said that she was the one that did it. So that right there tells you that, you know, in a court of law, especially in, you know, in criminal cases, if you admit to a crime, hey, you did it. That's how that works, plain and simple. You know, it's just, it's crazy. But let's see this Thor. Let's see this one more time. Now, she dangerous, though. You know what I mean? Even though she'll be a good time, you know what I mean, for a short period of time, she dangerous because, yeah, she just blaming stuff on the man for no reason. You know what I mean? She might remove consent after the fact. So just be careful out there, you know. Enjoy your Thor thoughts, you know what I'm saying? But, you know, we got to be careful because you don't want them to remove consent and have you in court over some bullshit. But here we go. Let's hear this Thor thought one more time. Shout out to you.
Patrick did it, for sure.
Patrick did
100%.
Oh.
That man did that shit.
So can you tell me why? I thought he was out of the house.
Yeah, but his time frame doesn't make sense. His shoes didn't match when he went into whatever, triple V's or whatever. His shoes didn't match. When he came back to the house, it was, he went outside to go check on Lindsay, but then went inside to check on the kids, but then they found him on the couch. I'm confused. Timeline doesn't match up.
So you're pro LIndsay Clancy.
I'm pro LIndsay Clancy,
Wow.
always. The timeline doesn't match up. So tell me more about why his shoes didn't match up when he went from CVS to whatever V's.
Yeah, so you're not like she did it or didn't do it. It's that Patrick did it.
It's that Patrick did it.
We're seeing what the jury says, right? You know, that's our justice.
But juries can be wrong. Juries can be wrong. Juries can be wrong.
Yeah, we know juries can be wrong. I mean, tell that to the Black Americans of the Americas. Juries have been wrong a bunch of times, I might add. I mean, they've been wrong so many damn times that they knew they was wrong and still threw niggas in jail for some nonsense. Just saying. We know juries be wrong, you know what I mean? Like we fully understand that. But in this case, she admitted to it. It is what it is. It's very unfortunate. It's a sad situation, man. It's a sad situation. All right. And we're going to hear from another woman. We got a white lady here, ladies and gentlemen. We have a white woman here who's going to speak. You are never going to
make me hate LIndsay Clancy.
Oh, shut up. Let me at least give me a second to like put your stuff on the screen before you start talking. But she says you can never make me hate LIndsay Clancy. So we're going to see what she says about the situation. She's going to give us her 2 cents on women on TikTok speak out in support of LIndsay Clancy. So let's hear what she has to say about this. So we heard from the Latina from the Latina people, which the Latina women don't speak for all Latinas, but you know, I'm just kind of like messing with our demographics. Now we're going to hear from a white lady. So here we go. Let's see what she says. Here we go.
You are never going to make me hate LIndsay Clancy. You're just not. I know better than anyone that the government would rather prosecute mothers than ensure they're adequately supported.
Is there anybody else who thinks that it's absolutely repulsive that the Commonwealth of Boston put a woman prosecutor onto the LIndsay Clancy case? I am repulsed by that. Like, absolutely repulsed. And I know she's just doing her job. But I think it's disgusting that it was very purposeful that they have a lead woman prosecutor prosecuting LIndsay Clancy.
Unpopular opinion, LIndsay Clancy did not her kids. The husband did. You know, the one leaving, going off onto an affair, the one that remarried right away, the one who literally had no emotion, talking about finding his children out alive, the one who literally painted the whole entire picture for her and for everyone else. And
I don't know why this is dark. I think it's dark because of her, because it's not me.
by the way, he also drove her to the point of insanity and then pointed at her and said, you're insane, like every other narcissist man has ever done, ever. He has the playbook. He looks like Chris Watts. He acts like Chris Watts. What did Chris Watts do? Try to blame his wife. We found out what really happened there. Come on now.
You are never going to make me hate LIndsay.
Yeah, man, I don't know, bro. I don't know. They feel like they know these people personally. I just don't know. I mean, woman prosecutor on the case, atrocious. You should not have a woman prosecutor on the case. Like, this is turned into it's the man's fault. This is turned into why is there a woman prosecutor prosecuting? You know, this is turned into it's everything but man, those kids are killed. Everything but that. You know what I mean? It's you killed the kids. Yeah, forget them. But it's about, you know, man versus woman, or the woman prosecuting is not right. All I know at the end of the day is this is a great distraction and a great agenda. A great agenda to push forward. You know what I mean? To push for a further conquer and divide, further separation for an agenda for a bigger cause. That's really what this is at the end of the day. That's how I look at this. It's really just a huge agenda situation that's going on that you just can't ignore. Because that's really, because remember, we got, this happened in January 2023. Courts move slow, if you didn't know. So January 2023. Now we're here now, right before midterm. So now we have this, you know, this battle going on. So tensions are high and more stuff to think about for midterms and all these different things. And maybe it won't get brought up during midterms. Who knows? But it's just another thing to use for conquer and divide. It's really sad. It's a distraction. It's a crazy case to use for women, for whatever women's rights or whatever. But let's take a look at this. It shows the weapon that was used on the children, unfortunately. So we're going to go and just take a look at this real quick. So we got this right here. These are the exercise bands that were used on the children. Thick bungee style bands, the resistant bands for fitness, in case you don't know. Exactly. You know, the resistant bands, you like curl or something, it gives you resistance back down so you don't have to use like weights or something like that. But that's what it is. These are resistant bands that were used on the children. Here we go. These are them. Resistant bands right here for workouts. So you have like different weights of resistance for each size band. Whatnot. So yeah. That's what we have right there. But yeah, that's the resistance bands that were used for the children, unfortunately. It's very sad to see. Unfortunate situation, man. It's very, very, very unfortunate. And let me see here. What else we got? They said that there was let me see. What is this? I'm trying to see what this is. So they're looking at posts and stuff that she did before the tragedy happened. So, you know, people have found posts that she had posted. We'll take a look at. So it says that here's some of the posts that Lindsay did before the tragedy. So let's see what she posted. So here we go. We got May of 2021. I'm not going to read that one. We're going to get closer to the date. November 2022, and it happened January 2023. So let's look at this one, because this one's close to the date of when it unfortunately happened. So I was looking for advice on medications for postpartum and postpartum depression, postpartum anxiety and postpartum depression, I guess. I tried Zoloft, and after taking it for a week and increasing to 50 milligrams, I had extreme insomnia, and also I felt like I was worsening my depression, and I had no appetite whatsoever, so I had to stop taking it. That's good. Has anyone had a similar experience and found a different medication that worked? Also, right now I feel the only medication that works for me is Ativan. It has the perfect effect of decreasing my anxiety and making me feel happy. It makes me feel like myself again, but I know it's not a long-term solution as it is addicting. True. Any advice on an alternative that has a similar effect? And this is 2 years ago. I don't know what date. There's no date on this. It just says 2 years ago. I was so against it as well. With my first, we never did any sleep training at all, and she didn't sleep through the night ever until 15 months. Even after that, we still hit or miss. When my second, I was just talking about her kids, okay? But she did mention issues of I am not alone, postpartum depression, anxiety, and rage. So she was out there like begging for help, and she was asking for people to help her. You know, she posted stuff on the internet and everything like that. And she even put and rage. So she knew she was feeling rage. If you know you're feeling that, get your kids away from you. If you know you're feeling that way and it's towards the kids, get them away from you. Get them away from you. Like, just get them away from you. Like move, go over there somewhere. Like, just tell your closest people how you really feel, and tell them to get my kids away from me. Work on yourself and get yourself right. You know, y'all had enough money. You could have told a husband, like, hey, can you send me somewhere before I do something crazy? You know what I mean? Like something, any other remedy. But now we have here. So now we're going to go on to Patrick. Somebody has a Lindsay Clancy timeline, says tracking Patrick Clancy's movements the night of the killing. So it says right here, it says we're going to track his stuff, and you know, people felt that he did it. So we're going to see if let's see what him doing it looks like. So right here it has around 5:15, Patrick leaves the house to go to CVS and a restaurant to pick up dinner for the family. At 5:15, Lindsay texts Patrick to pick up Pedialyte. About 3 minutes later, Patrick testified it took him about 3 minutes to arrive at CVS. He is seen on surveillance cameras at the store. At 5:33 p.m., Patrick calls Lindsay to tell her CVS doesn't have the medication. She didn't answer. However, she shortly called back and told him the generic brand of the medication was fine. Transcripts from the court. It says, prosecutor, who is Jennifer Sprague, can you describe the phone call? Patrick, I told her there was a generic brand. Is that okay? And she said, yeah, that's fine. Jennifer Sprague, the prosecutor. Demeanor during the call. Patrick says she was quiet. She seemed busy. I remember thinking maybe she was given a bath. Prosecutor, so she sounded like she was in the middle of something? And Patrick said yes. The prosecutor says she didn't have trouble remembering why you were at CVS or what you were looking for. Correct. So then they show Patrick leaves CVS and begins driving to the restaurant 3V. He testified that it took him about 10 minutes driving on Route 3 to arrive at the restaurant. Patrick is also seen on surveillance at 3V looking for their dinner order. Now here's the part where people say his shoes changed. If you look right here. He's looking for his dinner order. So if you look right here, his shoes are different. His shoes did change from 5:54 to 5:33. These look like different shoes. So from 5:53 to 5:54, 20 minutes, looked like the shoes changed. Maybe they did, maybe they didn't. Well, I don't know. But this is whenever you heard that last lady talking and she was saying that his shoes changed. This is what she was talking about, because the shoes do look like they changed. Patrick testifies it took him 10 minutes to arrive home from the 3V, which is a restaurant. He called out to Lindsay and the kids, but no one answered. 6:09, after shouting down to the basement and not hearing anyone, Patrick called Lindsay, but there was no answer. Shortly after arriving home, Patrick called 911, and the transcript of Patrick calling 911 played in court, and it says, and it goes like this. It says, Patrick on the phone. It says, my wife tried to kill herself. Stay awake, stay awake. She jumped out the window. And then Patrick says, where are the kids, Lindsay? Dispatcher tells him not to move her. Patrick says, look at me, open your eyes. It's not really bleeding. It's just an open wound. Did you fall out the window, Lindsay? Did you fall? Is there something on your neck, Lindsay? Patrick says, I need you guys down here now. And Patrick says, she killed the kids. At 6:11, Duxbury police officer Stephen Hall testified that he received the dispatch call and went to the Clancy's house. Oh, man, I could not be a cop. Whew, could not be no cop, bro. Can't do it. Can't do it, bro. Ain't no way I'm pulling up to a house seeing this. Being a father myself, whoo-wee. Can't do it, bro. Can't do it. When the first responders arrived, they found a severely injured Lindsay and the couple's 3 children, Cora, Dawson, and Callan, unresponsive in their basement. And that's all that's it for the story. Whew, man. Sheesh. Being a police officer that has to pull up to that's brutal. So it happened all in the span of like 1 hour. In the span of 1 hour, 45 minutes to an hour. He went to the store to get something. He went and picked up CVS for stuff for the kids, picked up dinner for the family, came back home. Everything had went down. Everything had happened, at least according to that story right there. Whoo, man, I could not be that cop. Ugh. Show up and see that, I'd be hurt. Whew. I'd be hurt, bro. I'd be hurt. So here, I don't know. And when you look at and you add everything up and you see everything go together, at the end of the day, man, like when stuff like this happens and you admit to doing it, and you know, I think when she tried to jump out the window, she messed up her legs or something, so she's paralyzed, so she's in court in a wheelchair. But whenever you admit to doing something like this, like I mean, who is paying for her lawyer? I'm just curious. Who's paying for her lawyer for this, bro? Like who? I mean, I guess you do have a right to an attorney, but like who's paying for her lawyer? Like who paying for this? Like who the hell is the lawyer, bro? Like who paying for this nigga, bro? I'm just saying. Like I get he's a defense attorney trying to win. I get that. Like who paying? Like how should you get this lawyer up here? But I mean, I don't know what the case will. We'll find out probably today or maybe sometime next week what the verdict will be. But that's just crazy. I'm just like, man, like who is paying for her lawyer? So if the LIndsay Clancy jury just heard the testimony and they can change how they view this case. So let's see what they say right here. So we got this here, and it says that it says that the jurors show that LIndsay Clancy's psychiatric medication history, and I think this is AI. I don't think this is actually a photo from the thing. So this picture's of AI. Shows the history, including the ones I showed you earlier. So here's the medication that she took, which is Prozac, Zoloft, Ativan, Klonopin, Seroquel, Remeron, Trazodone, Valium, Malactol, and other prescriptions. But prosecutors joined jurors towards something different. They argue many of these prescription bottles had only a small number of pills missing. The defense answered that claim. They argued that the medication list reflected years of changing prescriptions, not necessarily medications Lindsay was taking at the time. Wait, what? The defense answered that claim. They argued that the medication list reflected years of changing prescriptions, not necessarily what she was taking. Okay, well, she was changing prescription, then she should have been in her right state of mind. Jurors then heard Patrick Clancy previously testify that doctors repeatedly changed Lizzie's medications while searching for an effective treatment, exactly, not a cure. By now, jurors had heard two very different explanations for the same medication records. The evidence itself hadn't changed, only the interpretation. Which explanation the jury ultimately believes could become one of the most important questions in this trial. Proceedings continue tomorrow. So, yeah. I don't know how long ago this was, but as you can see. So, we're getting to the point. So, we're going to take a look at how people are responding and reacting to this. So, we're going to take a look at a woman who says that she crashes out on TV and almost starts crying defending Lindsay, which... I'm trying to figure out, like, why don't anybody cry for the kids? But let's see this clip. Let's just see how this goes. Let's take a look at this lady crashing out defending Lindsay. Here we go. Let's see how this goes out.
Quiet, because they did. I've had it with you.
Oh my God!
And
They should be
your
commended. They
sexism
didn't
and
kill their children. She's a murderer. These women are cheering. These are man-hating women that are standing outside. This is what it's about. They think the husband did it. They're crazy. They've lost their mind.
Do you know why they're
waving for a murderer?
Do you know why the woman is in a wheelchair? Did you even notice that she's
Couldn't care less. She's a murderer.
Because she jumped out the window after this happened.
So she should have. I'd have pushed her. They say that Lindsay was in psychosis. I think these women are suffering from psychosis.
This dude is going in. Look how mad he's pissing her off. He don't want to say anything. Beta Brad over here is like, oh my God, I can't say anything. He can't say nothing. Beta Brad trying to keep his job. He like, kiss my ass, right is right, wrong is wrong. She's just, bro, she is heated. He letting her have it. Let's let him keep going.
They've been watching too many true crime Netflix dramas. You know, this was a incredibly privileged woman, incredibly wealthy. She had a nanny, and she's still complaining that she needed help. She
had a nanny? I didn't know that. She had a nanny. Bruh, you got a nanny. That means you can leave the house for 3 or 4 hours and let the nanny watch the kids.
Could not have got more help from the system that she already have received. This is a murderer who strangled her children one by one. One of the boys ran away and she chased him down and killed him.
Laurie Watkins. What you just said was absolutely disgusting.
Thank you.
You should be ashamed of yourself.
Thank you.
And you can hear that he's not. Okay?
Why? Because it's true.
You clearly don't.
It's the truth. I mean, if that's what happened and he just said what happened, he's just telling the truth, honestly. And if she had a nanny, I mean, at this point, like, bruh, come on.
Care, so pipe down.
I don't care. And by the way, men watching this, if you have a woman sat next to you on the sofa who is defending this murderer, you got to think deeply about this. I've seen weddings.
So we need to have some empathy.
Talk to your women and find out what are they thinking. They're defending this woman. It's
I don't think
insane.
anybody's defending what she did, but you can have empathy for what she went through and how she.
I know many women that this has happened to. No, they did not kill their children, but they also, what you failed to mention.
They should be commended because they did.
I've had it with you.
Oh my God! They
And
should be
your
commended. They
sexism
didn't
and
kill their children. She's a murderer. These women are cheering.
I'm done.
I mean, bro, I'm sorry, but you had a nanny. if that's true, if they had a nanny, bro, there's no way that this should have happened. If you have a nanny, and plus she was she was well off, but you had a nanny? A nanny, bro. There's no reason why you be like, hey, I'm gonna go to the gym and I'm gonna go to Pilates. I'll be back in 2 to 3 hours. Nanny like, okay, I'll see you when you get back. Hey, nanny, here, take one of the kids to, you know, whatever, or just stay here with the kids and make sure they're good. You know what I mean? I got their food ready. Just give them this whenever it's time to eat, whatever the case may be. Like, you had a nanny. If that's true, you had a nanny. Like, bruh, like, come on, son. You had a nanny. You had a nanny. And you're gonna tell me that the husband didn't do anything? You got a nanny. You probably could have had 2 nannies. That's crazy work. That is crazy work, but yeah, he was letting them have it. I'm gonna play it again. I'm letting him talk all the way through. I'm not gonna interrupt this time. I just like, because he was going in. Let me go ahead and let him go again. I'm not gonna say anything. I'm letting him just let her have it. Here we go.
They should be commended because they did.
I've had it with you.
Oh my God! They
And
should be
your
commended. They
sexism
didn't
and
kill their children.
misogyny.
She's a murderer. murderer. These women are
Okay.
cheering.
I'm done.
These are man-hating women that are standing outside. This is what it's about. They think the husband did it. They're crazy. They've lost their mind.
Do you know why the
They're
woman is in
waving
a
for a
wheelchair?
murderer.
Do you know why the woman is in a wheelchair? Did you even notice that she's
Couldn't
in a
care less.
wheelchair?
She's a murderer.
Because she jumped out the window after this happened.
So she should have. I'd have pushed her. They say that Lindsay was in psychosis. I think these women are suffering from psychosis. They've been watching too many true crime Netflix dramas. You know, this was a incredibly privileged woman, incredibly wealthy. She had a nanny, and she's still complaining that she needed help. She could not have got more help from the system that she already have received. This is a murderer who strangled her children one by one. One of the boys ran away, and she chased him down and killed him.
Laurie Watkins.
What you just said was absolutely disgusting.
Thank
and
you.
You should be ashamed of yourself.
Thank you.
And you can hear that he's not. Okay?
Why? Because it's true.
You clearly don't care, so pipe down.
I don't care. And by the way, men watching this, if you have a woman sat next to you on the sofa who is defending this murderer, you got to think deeply about this. I've seen weddings.
So we need to have some empathy with.
Talk to your women and find out what are they thinking. They're defending this woman. It's
I don't think
insane.
anybody's defending what she did, but you can have empathy for what she went through and how she.
I know many women that this has happened to. No, they did not kill their children, but they also, what you failed to
Well,
mention.
they should be commended because they did.
I've had it with you.
Oh my God, they
And
should be
your
commended. They
sexism
didn't
and
kill their children. She's a murderer. These women are cheering.
I'm done.
I'm sorry, I don't mean to laugh, but he was just letting her have it. And they said that you feel some empathy. It's like empathy for the kids. Like, what you mean? Like, everybody's having empathy for her. It's like the kids, bro. Nobody mentions the children. That's what blows me away. And not out of everything we just watched, out of everything I've showed you, not one person has said those poor kids. Not one. Not one. Nobody's mentioned the kids, bro. It's just crazy. It's crazy. Like, nobody has said, wow, those poor kids. Nothing. It's just over and over and over and over. Let's see. What else we got? What? Oh, man. People. Oh, I forgot about that. Here's another thing. All right. So somebody had also put up a comparison of mothers, and this is what they did. I'm gonna show you real quick. It says right here, a mother pulls all 6 of her children out of a raging house fire, going back in 3 times despite burns covering 93% of her body. She did a GoFundMe or whatever, a fundraiser, and she got $42,000 for saving all 6 of her kids. You see a picture of her with all the burns of her in the hospital. Now you have her, LIndsay Clancy, kills all 3 of her children by strangling them to death with exercise bands, claims she's the victim, and she has a support GoFundMe, and she's raised over $1 million for this situation. So when I asked the question, where's she getting the money for this lawyer from, I forgot. Yeah, she got a GoFundMe. So in case you didn't know, there's a GoFundMe. She's got over $1 million, probably more than this now. Who knows how much she has, but yeah, there's that. I forgot about that. She does have that. Oh, Lord. Okay, so let's take a look at a mother that supports LIndsay Clancy. All right, let's just take a look. I'm gonna show you a mother that supports the actions of LIndsay Clancy. We're gonna take a look. Let's see what this woman says in support of LIndsay Clancy. She has a baby, what looks like she has a baby right here in her chest with a little shoulder strap on, with the baby in the front, she's walking. All right, let's see what she has to say in support. Here we go.
You know, the postpartum intrusive thoughts are getting bad when you're baby wearing and you walk past one of these tree chopping, terrifying devices, and you imagine yourself like tripping and the baby shooting out of my carrier and flying into the tree chopper when it's on. Just me or anyone else? You know the.
Okay. I don't know if you heard this. It was very, very low. I don't know if you heard it, but I'm going to tell you what she says. She says, the postpartum intrusive thoughts are getting bad when your baby when you're baby wearing and you walk past one of these tree chopping devices, terrifying devices, and you would just imagine yourself like tripping and falling and the baby shooting out of my carrier and flying into the tree chopper and when it's on. Is it just me or anyone else? Where's my soundbite, bro? Yeah. That's what she said. She said, the postpartum depression, the postpartum intrusive thoughts are getting bad when you're baby wearing and you walk past one of these tree chopping, terrifying devices and you imagine yourself like tripping and the baby shooting out of my carrier and flying into the tree chopper when it's on. Is it just me or anyone else? So it doesn't seem like what this guy was saying was wrong after all.
Because they did.
I've had it.
My bad. It doesn't seem like what he was saying was wrong after all. He was going in, let her have it. Didn't seem like he was too wrong now. After we see what some people over here said, this lady saying that her postpartum intrusive thoughts is like her tripping and accidentally the thought of the baby falling out of the carrier and landing in a turned on wood chipper. That's her postpartum intrusive thoughts. I'm like, ma'am. I wonder if this is nanotechnology running through these people's bodies. That's all. I'm trying to get to the like meat and potatoes of it. Cause like I get it. There's witches, there's demons. I mean, I completely get that. At this point, it's super clear as day. I mean, even the Bible where they was eating babies and killing children. I mean, as soon as Jesus was born, a bunch of babies got killed, unfortunately. And that's a fact. But, you know, it's just like, to be able to even say that, to just say that, and then have the audacity to be like, I hate America. I mean, you just exercise free speech to a level that nobody would even dare to even do with the power of free speech. And I don't even know if anybody reached out to her, touched her, or grabbed her, got a hold of her or kids or something like that for saying such a thing. But yet you still hate this country. You couldn't go to a different country and talk like that, bruh. You ain't getting away with that. That's crazy. All right, so here we go. Tell you another clip. It says the Massachusetts woman on trial for killing her 3 kids, 5, 3, and 8 months old, on January 23, appears weeping during the opening statement on her trial on Monday. Clancy, who claims she heard a male voice tell her that she had to kill the kids so that she could kill herself. She has pleaded not guilty. Thought she pleaded guilty. Plymouth County Assistant DA Shanna Buckingham, or if I said that right, argued that Clancy was not in the throes of psychosis on the day she killed the children, but a woman who acted intentionally. Let's see this clip. Let's see what this says. Here we go.
The evidence will be difficult to see, to hear, to process. Testimony of witnesses, family, friends, teachers, people who knew the Clancy family, people who saw them regularly, people who saw them on the day in which this defendant killed them. They're all going to come before you. And it may be heartbreaking to hear what they have to say. We expect during the course of this trial that you'll hear the defendant made claims that either right after Patrick left the house or after he called her from the CVS, depending on which version of the events she's telling, she heard a voice, a male voice, a voice that she had never heard before, a voice that she never heard again. And that voice told her that it was her last chance, that she had to kill the kids so that she could kill herself. She immediately took action when she heard the voice, with no direction or details from this so-called voice, and she killed the children. Once she killed the children, the voice stopped. When you consider this information in the course of the trial, ladies and gentlemen, I ask that you consider the source, the timing, the substance of her statements about this voice. You're also going to hear from, or you may hear from, forensic psychologists and psychiatrists who talk about what's called command hallucinations and voices that people hear before they do something. And when you hear that testimony, I ask that you keep in mind the details of what she's saying the voice told her, and the details of when this voice spoke to her.
All right. Well, you get the point. I don't want to play the whole thing, but you get the idea. You get the idea of what's going on. So as you can see there. Oh, here's her mother testifying. Let's check out the short clip. I'll let her mother talk just a little bit, not a whole lot, just before we get up out of here. So here we go.
I remember her saying, I just have to tell you guys something. And then she told us. She told us that she had thoughts of harming the children.
Do read that for the jury.
Mom, will you please come up and stay with me for a bit? I'm really sick. Something is wrong. I had horrible insomnia all night, and I just don't know how I'm going to get through the day.
Did she express to you concern that in this time frame that people at the school, teachers and other people would be able to know what she was thinking and would think that she wasn't a good mother because she was sick?
Yes, she said the school knows something's going on because I'm not driving my car. They see that I'm not driving my car to pick the kids up.
Leading up to January 24th, do you recall, and can you tell the jurors what, if any, observations you made of Lindsay and her condition?
Lindsay had lost a lot of weight. She had become, during this whole time, paranoid about different things that really she shouldn't have, really weren't logical to become paranoid about. She would mention that this wasn't her mind. She would say to me, this isn't me. I've never been like this before.
Do you recall the end of January that she made a statement to you about the medication, in her opinion, what it was doing to her mind?
Yes.
What did she say?
She said that she couldn't remember anything. The medication was pretty much just destroying her mind, and it wasn't her. She said, this isn't me. I just want to feel better and enjoy my kids again.
Well, why didn't she take her grandbabies? You know what I mean? How come she ain't take her grandbabies? That's what I say. Like, why didn't you take your grandbabies? Why didn't Patrick's parents take his grandbabies? Somebody should have took the damn kids, bro. Somebody should have took the kids. I don't know what to say. I'm just like, the signs were there, if that's what she's saying. And it was a text message that was from 2022, I think the last quarter of 2022, when she even mentioned it. She had a nanny. Her mama knew. I mean, at some point, like, just pawning your kids off on, the nanny or your mama or somebody, and just be like, hey, I can't do this right now. It's for the safety of my kids. Like, make the right decision. Like, you felt that you heard it. You have to get yourself right. Take a minute. Like, leave them alone. You don't need them right now. I'm not saying in like a negative way, but you clearly need to get away from them, because whatever voices or thoughts you got going on in your head, you got to get that taken care of. So if you got to stay away from your kids for a few months or whatever, you can see them periodically before you can actually stay the night and have them in your custody again. Or hell, you know what I mean? Like, there was so many ways. This could have been handled so many different ways, especially with the money that the husband was making. They had the means to make the right decision. Anyway, let's hear what another lady has to say about this case. Let's see what she thinks. Is she pro or is she against? What do you think?
Talking about the fact that she ordered dinner and they're talking about the fact that she ordered dinner and they're talking about the fact that she ordered dinner and she searched CVS for what she needed. But then the other flip side of that argument, of course, is this was regular course of conduct in this family's home. And if she was hearing these voices, and it would have had to be a very snap decision, and if she's in this psychotic fit, doctors have testified that it's something that you could have happen for a period of time and not know what you're doing. And honestly, at the end of the day, I've tried hundreds of jury trials, and I can read juries quite well, and I just have a hard time believing that with all of the emotion that's involved in this case, coupled with her cries for help, the documented medical treatment. I just cannot believe that a jury is actually going to say that she had the necessary criminal intent. I think this woman will live in the prison in her own mind, regardless of what this court does, forever. They're talking about the fact that she ordered dinner and she needed medical treatment. I just cannot believe that a jury is actually going to say that she had the necessary criminal intent. I think this woman will live in the prison in her own mind, regardless of what this court does, forever.
Okay, well, we shall see what happens. We shall see. We're getting close to the point. Yeah. And they're saying that the GoFundMe has raised $1.7 million so far to date. I guess they sold the family home. Who the hell they sell that home to? For $675,000. I don't know. This is TikTok, so who knows how true this is. Currently seeking medical malpractice, seeking at least $1 million. And Patrick remarried a doctor he met the same year his children died. So potentially he could have been cheating on his wife. I wouldn't put it past it. Yeah, I mean, you could be cheating on your wife with a doctor. Who knows? He could have been. But $1.7 million raised through a GoFundMe, which I don't know who that goes to. I don't know how they know if they sold the house. I don't know if this is true. I'm not gonna take this as good. But if in case it is, here's probably some of the stuff that people say why they think Patrick did it. Because he's $1.7 million raised through GoFundMe, sold the family home, currently suing for medical malpractice, and is seeking at least $1 million for the malpractice, and he's remarried a doctor that he met the same year his children died. So, I mean, somebody could just be saying he's just trying to restart his whole life and start a new family and start all over again, which, I mean, you never know. That could be a possibility. You never know. You never know. It possibly could be true. But then when you see the text message that the mom just read that she sent to her mom saying that she has these thoughts, I mean, that could be true. I mean, no, that is true. Those are facts. They're saying that how some women are saying Patrick did it because they're trying to pin it on him and get rid of his. I don't know. At the end of the day, man, rest in peace to the children. And I always look at it like this, man. I look at it as like right now, we in a season of purging. A lot of people who took, jabs got nanotechnologies inside their bodies. They got nanotech inside of them. And I already did a video on that where I told you that nanotech, if it's inside of you, then it can manipulate or control the matter that is inside of whatever, host that it has infiltrated. And it can control matter through, and people can control matter through nanotechnology. And your body is made up of matter. Those are your atoms. Your atoms are made up of matter. So if you can control the atoms in your body, then you can control the matter. Then you can control actions of people. You probably can control husbands and wives. You can probably make people hear voices in their heads, You're going to do all sorts of things. Who knows? I mean, when you look at things, you can look at it from both sides. But at the end of the day, from what we have and from what she's been telling everybody, as far as the text message she's been sending to her mom and other people and stuff like that, she had the thoughts to do it. Now, could Patrick have used known about those thoughts and used those thoughts to his advantage to frame her and do this or some stuff like that? I mean, you could have that happen. You could. But we can only go off of what we have. And what we have is LIndsay so far is the one that did everything. Yeah. Let me see if I got anything else. We're going to watch this person. So we have another person who says that it's proof that LIndsay did not unalive her kids. This is the guy who said this on the 24th. So let's see what he has to say real quick. Here we go. Let's see what he says.
Because there is no way for her to have strangled her youngest son and for her body to have been 82 degrees. It is impossible. Here's why. So during the trial, Patrick said he left his house at 5:15, but we know he sent his work email at 5:24 through something he called Surface Pro. Surface Pro is a 2-in-1 hybrid computer, kind of like a tablet that transforms into a laptop. This is important. Reddington then later asks him, "You sent the email from where?" And he says, "My laptop," but then later hesitates and says, "Maybe it was from my phone." But we know it was sent from his laptop, and his laptop was pinged at his home at that time, putting Patrick at his home at 5:24 p.m. And the drive from his home to CVS is 3 to 4 minutes, and we saw him walk through the doors of CVS at 5:32 p.m., meaning he left his home earliest at 5:25 and latest at 5:29. At 5:33, he calls Lindsay saying they're out of stock of the DnL&x and he's going to get the generic brand, which we know is a lie because after looking at the evidence photos, you can see through the bag that he actually got the DnL&x. And a minute later at 5:34 is when Lindsay calls him back, putting her at the top floor of the house at that time, and we don't know where she went after that, giving her about 5 to 10 minutes max from when Patrick left until that phone call. And the toxicology report said that at this time, she had 2 times the recommended levels of Seroquel in her system, which would cause heavy sedation and make it hard for anyone to even move. And a minute later at 5:35 would have been the earliest time that Lindsay could have jumped. Patrick then left the restaurant at 5:55, and it's a 10 to 12 minute drive from the restaurant to his house, meaning he could have got there anytime between 6:05 to 6:07. Patrick then calls 911 at 6:11 after claiming to have trouble calling them, which is not possible with 911. He also said he heard Lindsay talking when everyone else said she was nonverbal at this point, but that's a different story. First responders then arrived at 6:15, and their youngest son, Callan, the 8-month-old, got to the ER sometime between 6:30 and 6:40. And 10 minutes after Callan arrived, they were able to revive his heartbeat. Callan was 8 months old, and the longest an infant at his age can go without a heartbeat is 20 to 30 minutes. That's very rare, and in special cases, 45 minutes. So if they were able to revive his heartbeat at 6:40, 30 minutes before that would be 6:10, but Patrick would have been home at that time and seen what was happening. So let's just say it happened 45 minutes before at 5:55 when Patrick wasn't home. The only problem is that would only give Lindsay 12 minutes to do that to her kids, run upstairs, jump out the window, and for her body to get to 82 degrees, which is impossible. Because the minimum amount of time it would take a woman her age to get to that temperature is 45 minutes to 4 hours, and that is severe conditions. One claim is that she jumped right after getting off the phone with Patrick, but that wouldn't make sense either because she would have had to have done that to her kids before 5:35, making it impossible for them to bring Callan's heartbeat back. So at the minimum, it would have been impossible for her to have done that to Callan, her body to have gotten to 82 degrees, and then for them to have revived Callan's heartbeat. Just impossible. Let me know what you guys think about this because things are just not adding up. But
I don't know. He puts together a pretty good case, you know. But at the end of the day, man, whatever the case may be, either way it goes, this is the whole takeaway. Let's say he did it. Let's say she did it. Let's just look at that. Let's say she did it. Women are supporting her for her actions. Let's say it comes out and it finds out that he did it. At the end of it all, what's going to end up happening is a divide between men and women, even bigger than what it was. Because now the women are going to be like, we told you, you idiots. The men, you just hate women. You just hate women. And it's just going to cause a bigger divide between, people. It's really at the end of the day, all this is causing. It's just causing a bigger divide. Let's say it has nothing to do with children. It's just about causing a bigger divide amongst people before a situation happens, before maybe a midterm goes down or maybe for the midterm election or something. That's really all this is. At the end of the day, it's all about an agenda. It has nothing to do with the children. It's just a whole agenda situation that's going on. And it's a distraction. It's sad. It's unfortunate. Children lost their life. I guess the baby survived. But no, they said all 3 of the kids were killed. So maybe the baby was alive to end up dying. And could you imagine being at the hospital trying to revive an 8-year-old baby? Think about the people who had to deal with the 8-year-old baby trying to revive and knowing what happened to the baby. And everybody, so many people's heads got messed up during this situation. The cop came in and seen the kids. The people who had to try to revive an 8-year-old baby who did, and the baby ended up losing his life anyway. So many people caught some emotional wreck from this situation. And at the end of it all, with the trial going on, the only thing that this is doing is it's not paying any homage to the children. It's all about an agenda and a divide. That's really all this is boiling down to. And it's sad. It's extremely sad when you just look at it. It's clicks it's views, it's money for people, it's a story, it's all this shit. You know what I mean? That's really what it is. It's a distraction. You know what I mean? It's drama. It's a new episode on Snapped or whatever crime documentaries. Like, it's all that money tied into it and everything. It's sad. It's super sad. It really is. And I think at the end of the day, ever since, the year 2020 happened, a lot of stuff has been going on. And I really think that the nanotechnology that got put into people from the jab plays a big part in it. Because 75% of people across the world got at least one dose of that strong flu 19. And when you look up nanotechnologies that we found out that is inside of people, it can control matter, and people can be induced or, what's the word? Manipulated or, triggered to do certain things. And and then sometimes that'd be the question I'd be wanting to ask. I'd be like, well, hold on, was Patrick and Lindsay, were they vaccinated? Because it would be good to know, especially when Dr. Fauci got on here and plead the fifth. Every single question he asked them, he looked down his paper. He was like, hold on. Let me read this. I was like, hey, Dr. Fauci, do you know that this has happened? He was like, hold on. Oh, yeah. And then he started speaking and he was like,
FYM. Fuck y'all motherfuckers,
and then he did that for the whole court proceeding. He ain't say no other word but that. So then it makes you think. It's like when you sit here and you think about the conspiracy theories and come to find out that there's no such thing as a conspiracy theory, everything turned out to be true. It's nothing out of the realm of possibilities of what could be causing this rate of degeneracy, lunacy, chaos, on top of the deliberate financial turmoil that we're going through. And all these things combined, trying to bring in, new world order and then order out of chaos to keep everybody from staying focused on nature and opportunities of a greater good. But all we're seeing is dark shadows and evil. Nothing is out of the realm of the possibility. I'm going to let this woman speak on this last thing and we can get up out of here. I'm going to let this woman say her piece. She's going to talk about that. So let's see what she has to say. Here we go.
Oh, I hate to say it, but it can't be further from the truth. Wait, further from the truth? It's like the truth. Something weird happened when people got the jab. It was like covens and witches. They operated in coventry and witchery and I don't know what these stupid lesbians do, scissoring each other in the forest and just burning trash. I don't know what they do. But I think after the jab, it was AI took over and now it's just mainstream. I think witchcraft is just sheer will. Just sheer will for Satan. So no, I don't think they're actually burning trash or scissoring each other naked in the forest under the full moon anymore. I think that it went, because someone would catch it on camera, I think it went mainstream with the jab. And one of my friends was like, I feel like this was Satan's tactic to make them think that they were something special. And then when 5G got implemented and AI got implemented, now they're totally just covert super soldier satanic women. They're just automatons for Satan. They just carry out Satan's will. No need to do any type of ritual. They will all just do it. So I hate to say it, but it can't be further from.
And what she says, I put that towards both parties, men and women, not just women. I put that towards both parties, but it seemed like it's hell a lot more strong on the women's side. But you put that towards both parties because that's what it seems like. Seems like Satan's will is just being done out. I mean, the LIVESTREAM files came out. We heard the most atrocious things. Nothing happened. Nothing. Nada. Zippo. Nothing. We hear about these things. So, this story of the LIndsay Clancy, she killed 3 of her kids. Nobody cares about the kids. Then you hear all these different things that are happening and going on, and you got religious fighting going on between Christians and Islam and Jews or Talmud readers. Like, it's just like, you know, everybody's doing the will of whoever they're doing the will to. It's like Tim Waltz got a plaque inside of the Minnesota Capitol building. He was thanked by Satanists for doing Satan's work. You know what I mean? Like, it's just like blatantly, obviously out in the open. That's why I always tell you, man, every single day I get on here, whenever I tell you, I always tell you, man, stick to nature. Eat a healthy diet, exercise, workout, get in the sun, run a jog, fast, pray, meditate. And just do, you know, the best that you can do. You know, and of course, get rich. I ain't gonna downplay that. Get rich in the meantime when you do all this. But just understand there's a deeper psychology going on. There's a deeper spiritual warfare that's going on. And I always just say you stick to nature, regardless of how AI we go. Stick to the past, stick to the course of nature. Because it's gonna get worse before it gets better. But you gotta stick to nature and keep pushing and just keep going in that direction. And if you're gonna use AI, that's fine. Use it as a yin and yang, as a balance to balance out the good in nature, and don't go so far one direction that you end up, you know, all evil and no good. You know what I'm saying? So with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, I got to get up out of here. That's going to be it for today's show. Hopefully you enjoyed today's show. Hopefully you got some good knowledge and some good, you know, enjoys and some stuff like that. But I will catch y'all tomorrow, Saturday. Probably not tomorrow. Probably be back on Monday. We'll be dropping shorts over the weekend, and we'll be back in here doing what we do best. So I'll catch y'all later, man. Y'all have a good weekend. Be safe. Don't do nothing stupid. Be safe out there. Watch for other stupid drivers on the road, because people suck at driving. Until then, I will see y'all on Monday. Take care. Love you. Peace.
Thank you for watching D. Elliott Fitness live stream. Goodbye.
I'd rather be in the studio than in jail or on the street. Talking the wrong to the knock your teeth. Got that one hit to quit and knock you off your feet.